Let's now start it all with a agriculture-related story, and the Agric Ministry will in the coming months be engaging over 1 million farmers for the successful rollout of this year's Planting for Food and Jobs initiative. At the launch of the year's program, Sector Minister Dr. Owusu-Efik-Yakoto also spoke about how government plans to increase the provision of subsidized fertilizers to farmers to increase Ghana's food basket. There's more in this report.
The Ministry of Agriculture will be targeting 1 million farmers in its Planting for Food and Jobs program for 2019. This target was raised from 700,000 following improved participation of farmers last year. In all, 300,000 metric tons of inorganic fertilizers and 200,000 metric tons of organic fertilizer will be distributed nationwide. Agric Minister Dr. Owusu-Efik-Yakoto spoke at the launch of the 2019 Planting for Food and Jobs program.
Our original target for 2018, for 2019 this year, was 750,000. But because of the enormous success of participation, we have raised the target for 2019 to 1 million participation, 1 million farmers.
Meanwhile, the minister has revealed his outfit is confident there will be no case of the fall armyworm invasion in 2019. With about 14 hectares of farmlands devastated by the fall armyworm invasion in the past, the Agric Minister stated massive spraying programs are underway to avert any occurrence this year.
The task force that I put together to tackle the fall armyworm has been very successful in their mission. They will continue to stay alert to deal with the problem if it should re-emerge. These were totally destroyed. Last year, hardly 70 hectares were destroyed. And 2019 is zero tolerance for fall armyworm, 0 hectares.
The 2019 Planting for Food and Jobs program is aimed at ensuring food security in Ghana, as well as inculcating the habit of farming among Ghanaians.
Oil and gas players participating in the West African International Petroleum Conference and Exhibition are being tasked to overcome barriers which may hinder expansion of the industry. The sub-region has seen major investments in the oil and gas sector within the last few years, and that is set to expand further. However, various speakers at the opening session of the conference cautioned failure to collaborate will affect advancement of the sector. Darryl Kwao has been attending the conference, and he sent in this report from Lagos, Nigeria.
We've had two important addresses at the opening session this morning from the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Content Development Board as well as the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. Both speakers essentially highlighting the need for West African countries to collaborate to build a vibrant oil and gas industry. They talked about challenges like language and infrastructure that is sort of pulling the industry back.
Africa, we need to stand up. While these discoveries are exciting and present huge opportunities, the needed collaboration among businesses at regional and continental level has not been rapid in Africa. Some of the factors that are hindering the collaboration in the region include hard issues like infrastructure and soft issues like language barrier, colonial heritage, logistics, and others.
Well, Tullow Ghana is the only international oil company from Ghana participating in this event. I have been speaking to the communications manager, Chifa Bampo.
We're happy to be here. It's an opportunity for us to showcase the success of Tullow in Ghana in terms of exploration and development and production. It's also an opportunity to also tell the remarkable story of oil and gas in Ghana. As many people know, Nigeria is a big oil and gas producing country. However, in Ghana, we were not that till about 10 years ago. So we are considered an emerging market. And Tullow is the the company or the entity that in a way has made that happen. And so we also want to showcase that story to our peers in the sub-region so that they also know what we're doing. It's an opportunity for Tullow to also showcase its two world-class fields, the Jubilee and 10 fields. As some of you may know, we've started a drilling campaign after the successful 8-loss ruling, and so we've been drilling since last year. That drilling campaign continues this year. So we want to show the rest of West Africa what we are doing.
So over 6,000 visitors are expected at this event. They are going to explore new technologies, best practices to advance the oil and gas industry and for the commercial interests of investors and businesses. Darrell Kwao, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria.
Let's also talk about natural resources, because the Ghana Chamber of Mines says direct economic benefits expected to accrue to the nation is estimated at $5.3 billion over the lifespan of the Anglo Gold Ashanti mine as it reopens operations. These include payment of royalties, corporate taxes, among others. In an exclusive interview with Joy Business, Chief Executive of the Chamber, Suleiman Koni, describes the coming back of Anglo Gold Ashanti as an opportunity to boost the country's economy as well as investor confidence. There's more in this report.
Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi mine was placed on limited operations towards the end of 2014 and has been under care and maintenance since 2016 pending commencement of the mine's redevelopment project. In June 2018, Parliament ratified AGA's agreement with government to redevelop the Obuasi mine into a profitable business once again. According to the Chamber of Mines, the benefits to be accrued from the economy include taxes and royalties, as well as reviving the livelihoods of the indigents.
You will also talk about the fiscal benefits which will come to the state. I think the President mentioned them, what the expectations of this government were. Of course, they've run all the numbers, which is positive, is good. But for us, the exciting bit has to do with the unseen benefit, normally in the supply chain, how the communities will benefit, how individuals within the community and outside the community who offer goods and services to this company and how they would also benefit. I think it's quite tremendous, and it's welcome news for the Chamber of Mines, for industry. I think the global mining industry would be quite excited because the Ashanti brand is actually come back.
CEO of the Chamber of Mines, Suleiman Kone, explains the return of Obuasi to the mining industry is a big deal.
I talk about branding. And Ghana's brand when it comes to mining, you can't wish Obuasi away. When you go into the international arena, when you're talking about mining, Obuasi is a big brand. And that's why, for me, Obuasi coming back puts Ghana right back on the...
In terms of numbers or the...
It's the history. It's the history. And it's the contribution that Obuasi has made over the years to our economy. Obuasi, and if you consider people who have worked at Obuasi and the impact they have made in the industry in Ghana and elsewhere, within the industry globally, you'll be amazed.
AGA Obuasi is expected to pour out its first gold by the end of the year.
While the Chamber of Mines has expressed confidence in the state security agencies to protect the Obuasi mine concession against illegal mining operators, this follows persistent attacks by some Galamsey operators on the mines previously.
It's welcome news as well, and we all know what we went through, especially Anglo Gold Ashanti Obuasi with illegal miners and all of that. We don't want to recount the sad story of what we actually went through as an industry. But the good thing is that we have Obuasi back, and the President has given his commitment. I know that there's an agreement, a security agreement between the mine and the company as a condition for the mine to actually restart. It's our belief that government will honor its side of the bargain, commits resources to the ground to make sure that we have security. Companies generally want that conducive environment. They want that peace of mind to be able to do their work. And generally, governments will have to provide that, enabling environment, not just the economic fundamentals, but peace and security. I think it's critical. We say in the mining industry that security is a major critical success factor. And therefore, for the two parties to agree to a security agreement as a condition for the mine to restart. I think it's a good thing. And I believe that the president means well, and he would work with his various ministers of state to ensure that the mine is given the optimum security.
Away from mining now, the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, has failed to pay pharmaceutical companies for 9 months of drugs supplied under the health insurance scheme. CEO of the Pharmaceutical Chamber, Anthony Ameka, fears the situation is leading to the gradual collapse of many companies. He tells Joy Business in an interview prices of drugs could go as high as 3 times current prices on the market.
If you look at the OPD attendance currently, NHI covers almost 80 to 85%. And that was the reason why we reduced the prices of medicines on NHI list by 30%, so that the ordinary person can benefit from that initiative. Legally, NHI is supposed to pay service providers within 3 months after submission of their bills. The last payment that was made to service providers was last year, in some institutions last year, March, and in some institutions last year, April. This is adversely affecting the businesses of our members, because we also have to go to bank, borrow money to be able to buy the products or to be able to manufacture all these products. Who pays for the interest? At the end of the day, look at the fluctuation also of the dollar. It's also affecting the businesses of our members. And frankly speaking, if the behavior of the NHI is not checked, some of their actions and inactions is adversely affecting members of the chamber. And as a result, some companies are also collapsing because of their behavior. And we think that government must have a look at that.
So from one chamber to another chamber, the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industries has cautioned against any hikes in utility tariffs ahead of announcement by the PURC, that's the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. President of the chamber, Dr. Nana Appiah-Dankwa, also the first, tells Joy Business any possible hikes risk increasing cost of production, which will consequently impact prices of goods and services. He's been speaking to Joy Business.
At the moment, cost of doing business is high, and the previous tariff reduction provided respite for businesses. So any sudden increment will worsen the cost of doing business and jeopardize government efforts of ensuring private sector growth. The Chamber expects that the utility tariff for industry should remain unchanged or, at worst, record a marginal increment. Under the Energy for Industry subsection, government is expected to undertake a number of interventions, which include A, realigning the electricity tariff structure in support of industrial development. B, identifying and boosting the long-term generation of base load power at the lowest possible cost, ensuring the necessary investments to upgrade, renew, and expand the power transmission and distribution network. This will modernize and improve efficiency of power generation and distribution, and ultimately lower technical losses and costs.
It's live on Business Live. Let's cross the international boundaries and bring you some international aspects of business. The trade war between the United States and China is said to be deeply affecting the tech industry. In a speech at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland, smartphone maker Huawei has denied using its products for spying.
Deputy Chairman of Huawei, Ken Hu, told an audience at the World Economic Forum in Davos that the trade war is having a damaging effect on many of the companies in the tech industry, including Huawei. He said the technology industry is heavily reliant on the global supply chain and the global innovation ecosystem. The Chinese telecommunications company has come under intense scrutiny in recent months over security concerns. U.S. officials have warned that Huawei products can be used to snoop on Americans, and New Zealand and Australia have banned its equipment from the 5G network. Huawei has been under scrutiny by Western governments, which fear its products could be used for spying. Meanwhile, the company has denied accusations that it spies for China. The chairman of Chinese tech giant Huawei earlier warned that his company could shift away from Western countries if it continues to face restrictions.
All right, so it's a Wednesday, and today on the Joy Business Van, we bring you the story of Sophia Hammond, a queen mother keeping her family pork business alive. After decades of its existence, their drum pork continues to flourish.
40% of the world's population eat pork prepared in various forms. Now in Ghana, this delicacy could move people from town to town looking for the best prepared pork. Usually fried, grilled pork is not common in Ghana. Here at Adabraka, Sophia has taken over a 100-year-old grilled pork family business. After 15 years of understudying her mother and sacrificing part of her study time in school, she is now ready to manage the business on her own. With a mud oven and help from her two cousins, Sophia is providing what she calls healthy pork to pork lovers. Right in the center of their family residence, these women cut, spice, and grill the pork.
They were grandparents.
We grew up to this method, which I believe is very healthy.
Is very healthy. She no makaka she fall but too much of everything is bad. Waka onye ohani ne fire me fini ne. Ela le ken ale no ba na ko she ne ka ke we na me.
With the mud oven, we are able to drain out so much fat.
E won for ni o me ba je fin ba drill fin.
Virtually all the oil is drained from the pork. Sophia explains why her pork business is unique.
The mud oven gives the pork a natural taste. We don't soak it too much in artificial spices like the ones sold on the streets.
She's also a queen mother. She believes the era of queen mothers not working is long gone. For her, in order to be a role model to her people, she has to work hard.
Yes, but queen mothers were not allowed to work. Times have changed, and I now have to work to support my people and be a role model.
After 15 years of working with the mud oven, Sophia admits it has affected her sight.
The
smoke from the oven causes redness to my eyes. I usually fear I'll grow older and have complications.
Switching to a gas oven might be out of the question for Sophia, but improving upon her packaging, she says, is definitely a must.
I want
to improve this business. Even if I allow my children to take over, I will ensure they get educated so that they can bring fresh ideas on board.
Make a date again next Wednesday for another edition of the Joy Business Van. And before we go, we would like to take you to our Joe Poll survey, where we pose a question today. The reopening of the Obuasi gold mine brings back the debate as to whether mining in general has helped Ghana in any way. Has mining contributed to Ghana's economy as expected? Well, so 220 votes have already been recorded. 62% is saying no, it hasn't contributed to any or to the economy of the country, and 38% is saying yes, it has contributed to the economy of the country. Well, so the poll will end in 16 hours, and you can still keep voting. And on that note, we draw the curtains down on Business Live today. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We have been great having you on board. Have a good evening.